running a couple of seconds late, but we were working with constituents and trying to get everything squared away. So I'd like to call to order and welcome everybody to April 3rd, 2023 commission meeting and call it to order. Ella, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Samet.
Here.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Here.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Here.
Mr. Townsend.
Here.
Mr. Lord, would you like to lead us in the pledge this morning?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lord. I'm going to do something a little different this morning for a second. We have, and Huntsville City has lost a police officer, and they'll be, and they've also had another one injured. I wore blue today to support him, and Helen's got hers on too. So we're reporting blue, had the courthouse lit blue. If y'all don't mind, let's pause for a moment of silence for Huntsville and their police officer. Amen. All right. We will first off start the meeting off today with I'll need a motion to approve the minutes from March 20th, 2023. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Mr. Townsend.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. I'll ask for a motion to approve claims in the amount of $3,014,731.86. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All right, go with Mr. Gatlin for the motion, second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have any conflicts of interest or anything coming from the commission body today? Everybody's silent. I'll take it as a no. Public hearing, we have none. Resolutions and orders, we have one on here. I'll ask for a motion to approve a resolution to establish a fund account for dump truck acquisitions and disposal. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend.
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have no contract agreements and grants and MOUs. Budget revisions, we have none. Merchant purchases, we have none. Board appointments, we have none. Award of bids, we have one bid to award. So I'll ask for a motion to approve the bid for printing for the Limestone County Revenue Commission. To have such a motion.
Make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatlin. To have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend.
Aye.
Commissioner Samet. Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Personnel action and staffing, we have first on here to be to approve to hire, I forgot what I said first time, Serena, I guess, Palmer, I'm going to mess that up sure as the world, as a corrections officer pending a drug screening. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, we got seconds everywhere. We'll go with bingo. Okay. Commissioner Barksdale. All right, second from Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Second on here, I'll ask to approve a transfer for Stephen Copper Posey. He'll be transferring from corrections officer to deputy sheriff effective today, 4/3/23. Do I have such a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatlin. To have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend. And this right here kind of goes back to raising your employees. They start out in one area and move up to another area, and that's also it's always good to see somebody move up the ladder. So thank him for his service. Any more discussion? No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend.
Aye.
Commissioner Samet.
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. I'll ask for a motion to approve to hire Eddie Robertson as a truck driver in solid waste. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Townsend. Have a
Second.
second. Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallon?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 4 on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve to hire Chris Crable as a truck operator in solid waste department, please.
Make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatland, have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 5 will be to approve to hire Ella Edwards as a career tech in the IT department effective 4/3/23. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll go with Townsend for the commotion and second by Bingo, Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallon?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Merit increases, we have several listed below. I need a motion to approve the merit increases.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatlin, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion with anybody on it? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this point, I'll turn it over to the engineer, Mr. Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got the 4 subdivisions for your consideration. Briar Patch subdivision, this is addition number 2. This is a major for preliminary approval, creating 12 lots in District 2. Ferguson Place subdivision, this is a minor for preliminary and final, creating 1 lot in District 3. Clayton Estates, which is a minor for preliminary and final, creating 2 lots in District 3. And then Wingate subdivision phase 3, this is a major for preliminary approval, creating 84 lots in District 1.
Okay. I'll ask for a motion to approve the 4 subdivisions as submitted by Mark.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Sammet, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion?
I would just give you an update on the conversations that I had about the Wingate property. We have not reached the property line, or the phase that was submitted has not reached the property line that was being referred to that's under dispute. So the gentleman was satisfied with that. He just wants to make sure that it is resolved before we get before the subdivision goes to that property line. And then the other gentleman that came and spoke, their concerns about the road construction hindering the the condition, affecting the condition of the existing roads. What we've done in the past is we've gone out before they actually begin construction, and we do a review and document, and then any damage that shows up during construction, we work with the developer and contractor to try to make repairs to that as they go before preliminary approval. Final approval. I'm sorry,
A road
final
that we
approval.
maintain?
Well,
We don't do that always.
no, not. We try to work. We try to when it's something that we can. We have some that's not. That we have some roads that are not the. That were not inspected and been previously and built to standard of our road conditions.
So do we need to make it standard procedure?
Well,
that
what
we
I'm saying is
inspect all roads
what I'm
prior to-
saying is we have some roads that were not built to a standard that
Most
we're-
all our roads
Yeah.
were like that.
but the ones that we do have that were built to a standard, our subdivision standard, we inspect those because there's an obvious reason. Their construction, it's not the construction of the previous road, it's
Have
their
we ever
construction.
billed a contractor for damage to a road?
Most of the time, they will make the repairs themselves.
Have they done that?
They have.
Yes, sir. We've had some here recently that has happened. And
Who is that?
I can't remember. It was a subdivision. I remember a while back it was one.
I know Duggar Road.
Doug the road they did. It was another road also somewhere. It was in a subdivision out in the East Limestone area somewhere. I can't remember where it was at. I'm trying to think. It was. I had to look back, but it was been within the last. I remember it hadn't been too long ago that they did fix a spot in the road that was damage during that. And another thing is, like I said, you know, I met with them in there too, and they did get the property. It has not touched the property line for the, and but anyways,
But maybe we need to make that a routine that we
Well,
inspect all
we-
roads.
Which we try to do that. Where we get into an issue is like an existing older county road that wasn't built to a standard. We don't have documentation. It was built to a standard to withstand the traffic. Then you get into a finger pointing match. Who caused what? Was it our road? Was it their? But roads that we have documented, it was built to a standard that should withhold the traffic, we do document those.
most of the county roads we have were just farm to market roads that were just gravel roads that were paved over sometime or another. A lot of them weren't even gravel; they was pretty dirt. And I know it doesn't have but when we build a subdivision road to a standard, we try to hold to that. I understand where Mark's going.
If we've got
Weren't
documentation.
built to put for the stress that we put on.
That's right. I know we went through it with Wales Road here a while back. You know, it was just a.
That was
base.
in my thoughts, Colin. I don't know why you thought about
I
it.
read your mind, didn't I? Bingo. But anyway, so.
But yeah, but like Wells Road, we had no documentation that the road had been built to any standard that could withstand that traffic. I mean, so it was a bit of a finger pointing match.
We
Is-
should have
Is
asked-
all it turned
We
into.
should have asked Ray Charles and Ronnie Millsap. They never looked at it, and they could tell you that.
So, anyway. So, all right, but I was just gonna give you that update, so that's how we'll proceed with that phase.
All right. Any more discussion? We done got the motion a second. We're working on a vote. El, you able
Where
to call
we
the
at?
vote?
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Any other things for Mark before we move on?
I don't have anything.
All right. Moving on, other business, I'll ask for a motion to remove the following item from the sheriff's office, travel trailer with VIN number listed below from inventory. Do I have such a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatlin, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barksdale. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Second on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve a proclamation recognizing the month of April as Fair Housing Month in accordance with a ADECA requirement of the CDBG grant. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Well, I'll go with Commissioner Sammet for the motion, Commissioner Gatlin for the second. Any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Third on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve financing through Bryant Bank for three 28-yard Freightliner garbage trucks and one international service truck at a 3.99% interest rate. Terms will be 60 months, full amortization, and term loans with an annual payments and principal and interest. Do I have such a motion?
Make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gatlin to have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Sammet. Any discussion with it? No discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Fourth on here, I'll ask for a motion to approve financing through Trustmark Bank for solid waste roller carts at 4.17% interest with the terms of 60 months, full amortization, terms, loans, and annual payments, and principals and interest.
I make the motion.
All right, Commissioner Barksdale made a motion. Need a second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Gatlin's gonna second. He heard me calling on you. All right, any discussion? No discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Aye.
Commissioner Gatlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Sammet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We have no executive session. Report of officers, Commissioner Sammet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to mention, we're officially in the garbage business now. I guess in talking with Ms. Baldwin this morning, everything seems to be going pretty good. It's going to be I think our first month's going to be a trial period for us. Maybe we can get all the bugs ironed out. Want the general public to know, just use common sense, putting your cans out to where you're not blocking yourself coming out of your driveway or blocking traffic, getting out in traffic. So still got a few cans, I think, that have not been delivered. That's kind of been an issue. That's going to be an ongoing thing, I guess, for a couple more weeks. But they're doing everything they can to get that straightened out. But I ask folks to watch for the trucks, the drivers. It's new to them. They're going to be learning, I guess, more or less. But just bear with us. And as far as an extra can or whatever, once we get in it and get things going, and then we'll look at distributing, I guess, a second can. But glad to be in it. I think it's going to be a good thing for this county. I know I've heard a lot of people, I've heard comments that folks were looking forward to it. So we appreciate our general public, all our employees that have dove into it. And it's going to be an ordeal. But I think we can pull through it and have a better service for the people. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Zimmerman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Commissioner Barksdale.
I agree with Darrell on the solid waste, and no use me repeating it, so I don't have anything.
All right.
Got the advantage on
There
that.
you go.
Got to go first, didn't you, Darrell?
There you go.
Thank you, Commissioner Barksdale. Commissioner Gatlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that engineer mentioned a while ago we're going to be working out on Carter and Malone Road the next probably 2 weeks or so, based on the weather. It's kind of like that for those guys out there. That'll be a several-week project. I know Malone Road's been kind of under construction for some time. They placed a bunch of cross drains and stuff, so we'll get it maybe the next couple of weeks. I also know Mr. Chairman mentioned before about the Horton House. I've been contacted several times the last couple of weeks about that. Wanting Limestone County to help participate in that. That's the judge's house being moved from Greenbrier to Decatur for a museum and historical area. I know they had some issues about the right-of-ways being cleared. I think before when they talked, they just said a certain width of pass. I've asked the mover to try to mark those and give us an idea of what we're talking about. But I think it's something we'll have to talk about at some point in time that will be coming to the table, I'm sure, ask us to do something on that. So, but I have asked him to actually go out there and actually mark what he thinks needs to be moved, not just we need 40 foot. So that we can kind of tell what we're looking at as far as what's got to be done. I guess and kind of go from there at that point. Just want to make you aware of it. That will probably be coming in to ask for to help with that in the future. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
Discussion on that. Did he reach back out to you?
Yes, sir.
I left
He
him a
did.
message,
He did.
and I've kind of been out of pocket the last few days. And if he's called me back, I hadn't seen it, but I did leave him a message when he called me the other day. So
And I just asked him to kind of mark what we know's got to move, not just say, well, 40 foot or 50 foot.
Well,
We have an exact idea what we're talking about. But
that's a good idea. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Sir,
it.
thank
Commissioner
you.
Gallo. Commissioner Townsend.
I just echo what Darrell said, on the sanitation. Looking forward to this service, and I just hope everybody in the public can be patient with us. The guys are out working hard. They was eager this morning to get started, and just want everybody to be patient with us. I think it's going to be a good service. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Townsend. Have several items here today. First of all, I want to go back to last week. We proclaimed March 29th is Vietnam Veterans Day. I was going to try to reach out to them. I've been out of pocket since last Thursday, but we proclaimed that day in honor of their service for the country. We've had several reach out to us last year. Mr. Stovall, several want us to do this every year. We lit the courthouse red, white, and blue that night in honor of them. I know that was a war that a lot of people, it's had a lot of controversy over the years, but I want to thank them for their service and for what they've done for our community and still serving today. A lot of our burial detail and people like that are Vietnam veterans, and I just want to thank all Vietnam veterans for all they've done, and we have done this proclamation for them. And also, proclamation-wise, I got on my tie today that Todd Tumlin gave me. Autism is this month. April is Autism Month. I have a first cousin that has a son with severe autism, so it's about everybody's family somewhere. Don't have to go far to find out that they have somebody in their family with autism, and everything that we do, we work hard to try to educate people on how to deal with people with autism, children and all, because like first responders and all, we do seatbelt covers and things like that. I know the sheriff and all, we all involved in that. you know, because a lot of times they're spooked by noise and lights and things. So that's always keep things like this in front of us, that we're supportive of autism, and also that will be, and we'll have the courthouse lit blue most of this month for autism, and also we had it for the falling officer over the weekend and things like that. So we want to prayers and family that. I will kind of touch base on a couple of items. One item is the lady came and spoke about the pool. The county commission did have an agreement last year to help with the pool. They came back and didn't need agreement, and I had conversations with them, and we thought I was under the impression everything was fine with the pool and everything was good. And they had asked, talking about the desert air ventilation system and all, and everything. I was kind of under the impression everything was good, and then kind of snowballed by them coming in and saying they were going to close it. It was and I've had Drew look at some working on this. I was, I had told them, if it came down to that point, we had some ARPA money, if we would offer to help with the ventilation system later if we had some left over, whatever. And she said, we're fine right now and all. Then all of a sudden I get a letter a few weeks later on a pool closure, so, in an email. So I know the Huntsville's made that decision. I know it's not local people, but it affects local people in this community, and I understand that. So I have Drew looking into things, and I know we all are concerned about the wealth and the well-being of the people in the community. So we will all be looking at that. I'm going to try to get the Husband of the Year award here, which is probably not successful, but the Husband of the Year award is for the garbage cans. My wife is a rural mail carrier, and I asked the citizens, please don't put your garbage can directly in front or around your mailbox. I know that I hear that more than I want to, but I know that it's going to be a learning curve for everybody. But the mail carrier comes through during the day, so please try to replace it to where we can, the mail carrier can still run too. And I want to thank everybody. Like I said, it's been the trash has started today. I almost wanted to cry this morning. I get there and I've been here since 3 o'clock, worried about when it's going to start, how it's going to start, but at 4:30, those guys showed up to work. Well, some of them was here before 4:30. Angela was here at 4. I mean, we had to be here till 5, so that's the dedication that we're putting into the citizens for Limestone County. And I know Mark has worked tirelessly on this. Drew has. All of us as commissioners have. But we've all put a lot of effort into this. It's not exactly we weren't planning on getting in it. I mean, it was one of those things that the previous contractor came in and said he was going to retire, and we want to thank him for his service again. But it was we were trying. I know that it's going to be some learning curves, and I know a gentleman was here earlier speaking on what kind of services. We're looking into other services to offer to the community. I know Saturday was a free dump day, but we're looking at other options. We're all working around. We don't want to disclose anything yet, and our recycling is started back at L&S this morning. They are taking things there, so if you have recyclables, though I know that isn't open, and so I've probably rattled long enough, but I would be, one thing I got to mention is I want to thank everybody for the prayers of my family. My son doing good, so as good as he can do right now, so. And so we'll recess, and I will adjourn until Friday, April the 14th, because we will be moving the meeting from that Monday to the Clinton Street area we're at. Thank y'all, and appreciate everybody being here.